October again, and on this first weekend of the month we'd normally be gathering in Leitrim for the Iron Mountain Literature Festival. But like so many arts events, poetry, music, theatre, we had to cancel earlier this year. We would have been welcoming Stephen Ray, Moy Cannon, Emma McBride, Kevin Barry, Owen de Wardoon, among others, and earlier in the year we would have hosted the great American writer Richard Ford reading from his work and in public conversation in the Dock in Carrick-on-Shannon. None of that to be. Ach, by law, no leighanta ella on, Lagoon of Jay, and we won't lose hope or heart. We would have been going to, as every year, to Balnaglera, to the foot of Schlieve-Niren, the Iron Mountain, to link in with Sean Gilrain's marvellous Balnaglera Traditional Music Weekend. We've had such marvellous Sundays there over the last few years in Skerry Rins and Mulvies. Wonderful gatherings of words and music and song, so special and memorable. We're very sorry to hear of the recent death of Kathleen Rinn. I'll never forget the warmth of her welcome and her grace and hospitality. We think of her and extend our sympathy to her family. And we remember too the late Eugene McCabe and our sympathy to the McCabe family. Eugene was a friend of John McGahern's, and that brings me, I suppose, to the business most immediately at hand. We did go ahead with this year's John McGahern Award. That winner is Niamh McCabe, who lives in North Leitrim. She's better known as a visual artist, but from her submission, she's evidently a very, very talented writer. You know, hers is a strong, original voice. And we hope that at the time, the 2 weeks in the Tyrone Guthrie Centre in Annabcarrig, courtesy of Leitrim County Council and the few bob, well, €1,000 from the same source, will help her consolidate her work and concentrate on it. We'll hope to see you next year at the Iron Mountain Literature Festival. So for now, I will introduce you to the Cathaoirleach of Leitrim County Council, Councillor Mary Bohan, herself a woman who loves books and literature.
Good evening, everybody, and you're very welcome here this evening. In these very difficult times, I'm delighted this evening to be able to announce the recipient of the John McGahern Award for 2020. This last 6 months have been incredibly challenging for us all. People's livelihoods have been put under immense pressure, and many of the conventional social ties that bind us together as a society have become fragmented. At the same time, though, our communities have responded by coming together with a generosity of spirit and togetherness that should give us all great hope. The characters that John McGahern created were steeped in a deep sense of community and a sense of place. And through his writing, McGahern reminds us of what is important: people, community, nature. And he reminds us to take the time to reflect on that. Artists have been particularly impacted by COVID-19. Theatres, concert venues, galleries closed overnight, and there's no knowing when they will return to normal. At the same time, these last 6 months have shown us how vital the arts are to our well-being, and how the arts continue to play a uniquely crucial role in helping us process the world in which we live. Books, films, music, but also visual art, performances and community projects that in recent times managed to access using new technologies for the first time. I'm glad that through this award, we are recognising the importance of supporting artists. John McGahern left us a legacy that will endure forever. It is vital that we continue to support those that would follow in his footsteps. With that, I want to recognise the support of the Arts Council and my fellow members of Leitrim County Council for their support for this award and for the arts in general. I also want to thank our Arts Officer, Philip Delamere, and his staff for the wonderful work that they are doing for arts in this county. While this award carries its own intrinsic value and significance for the recipient, it also includes a prize of €1 and the opportunity to stay for 2 weeks at the Tyrone Guthrie Centre, again to develop their own work. With that, So I congratulate the recipient of the 2020 John McGahern Award, Niamh McCabe. So congratulations, Niamh, and I hope you enjoy this award. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Niamh McCabe, and I'm speaking to you today from my home on the southern slopes of Lean Mountain in beautiful North Leitrim. I'm so very delighted to be this year's recipient of the John McGahern Award. I want to say thank you to the Iron Mountain Festival, to Leitrim County Council, to the Tyrone Guthrie Centre, and to the John McGahern Estate. Thank you all so much. I'm going to read you a tiny story I wrote about a field close to here and about what I saw in that field over the course of a day. It's titled Black Rug on a Black Field. There's a dead horse in the field. They've placed a rug over the carcass and left it. It's getting dark. As light ebbs, the black rug with the cold shape beneath are becoming identical to the shadowed ground. This morning, driving past the field, I had seen the animal lying stretched on the dew-covered grass. Its nostrils whirled warm, fantastical creatures in the rising fog. It had seemed to me then that the horse was just taking the early sun. The dawn was a glowing one. The air was tender. Don't horses sometimes do this? Lay still. And don't they also roll onto their backs like pups, kicking fetlocks into the air, pivoting on keen withers, snorting delight while rubbing coarse mohawk manes back and forth into the earth? When I was returning homeward this afternoon, I remembered the oddly sprawled animal and I slowed down at the entrance to the field. It had not moved, but now a Buzz Lightyear duvet stretched from its neck to its hindquarters. It breathed short and shallow from a gaping mouth. A young girl stood over, her back to the horse, speaking urgent into her phone. Buzz Lightyear's slogan, "To infinity and beyond," arched along the animal's rounded spine. A school scarf was bunched under its head. I drove on home. Before night falls, I walk back to the field. The girl is gone. From the gate, I see a heavy black rug has been placed to cover the horse in a rigid parallelogram. Under the stiff rug, in dim light, I glimpse the Buzz Lightyear duvet still tucked around the animal. The girl's earlier footprints are embedded in the ground, circling her horse. The deep imprints of her knees are at its head, where she had held it for an extended period of time.